You won't believe what happened when I worked day and night for a promotion, and just when I thought my hard work had finally paid off, my boss gave the job to his niece. At first, I felt crushed. But little did he know, that one unfair decision would come back to haunt him in ways he never expected. So let me take you back. For 2 years, I was the kind of employee every manager dreamed of. Early mornings, late nights, no excuses. While my colleagues rushed home at 5, I stayed, behind to finish projects. While others complained about deadlines, I met them days in advance. I wasn't just doing my job, I was building my future. Every late night felt like an investment in myself, and the promotion that was promised was supposed to be the payoff. Boss, Mr. Grant, always told me, "Keep this up and you'll go far in this company." Those words kept me going through exhaustion, through missed weekends, through moments when I doubted myself. And when the promotion for senior manager was announced, I thought, finally, this is my moment. But I should have known. Things aren't always fair. On the day the announcement came, the entire office gathered in the conference room. Everyone whispered my name, clapping my shoulder, saying, "It's your turn." And when Mr. Grant stepped up with the envelope, I felt the room tilt with excitement. And then he said her name, not mine, his niece, someone who had joined only a few months earlier, someone who had zero experience, no late nights, no sacrifice, just the right last name. My heart sank. My hands went cold. And in that moment, it wasn't just about losing a promotion. It was about realizing that loyalty and hard work meant nothing to someone who valued family favoritism over fairness. But here's the twist. That very decision, the one that broke me that day, would soon become the reason Mr. Grant faced the biggest professional embarrassment of his career. The room went silent after he announced her name. For a second, I thought maybe I misheard. But then I saw her, smiling, walking up to the front like she had just won the lottery. People clapped, but the sound was half-hearted. Everyone knew who deserved that promotion, and it wasn't her. I tried to keep my face neutral, but inside, I was boiling. 2 years of sacrifice ripped away by a last name. Some colleagues came up to me afterward whispering things like, "You should have gotten it," or "This is unfair." And while those words gave me some comfort, they also made the reality sting even more. What made it worse was the way she acted after. Within days, she walked around the office like she owned the place. She gave orders without understanding what needed to be done. She scheduled meetings just to hear herself talk. And every time I saw her mess up something basic, I felt a mix of frustration and pity. Because it was clear, she was in way over her head. The work that used to flow smoothly started falling apart. Deadlines were missed. Clients were left waiting. Simple mistakes piled up, and instead of fixing them, she blamed others. And who do you think she blamed most? Me, the very person who had been keeping the department afloat before she showed up. I could see the cracks forming. Clients were complaining, staff morale was dropping, and even Mr. Grant was starting to look stressed. But he couldn't admit he was wrong. Not yet. His pride wouldn't let him. He had put his family above fairness, and now he was stuck defending that choice. But here's the thing. The higher you rise on false wings, the harder the fall. And her fall was coming. All I had to do was stay patient, keep doing my job, and let the truth reveal itself. At first, I thought maybe she'd learn. Maybe she'd work harder, prove me wrong, and actually grow into the role. No. Instead, she knew it worse. She micromanaged people who knew way more than her. She spent hours on social media while deadlines slipped. She even forgot the name of one of our biggest clients in a meeting. I'll never forget the look on that client's face. We were sitting in a boardroom she was presenting, and she called him by the wrong name 3 times. By the end, he cut the meeting short and left with a polite but firm, "We'll be reconsidering our options." That one mistake cost us a huge account. And yet, she walked out of that meeting acting like nothing happened, like losing a 6-figure client was just another Tuesday. Meanwhile, I was the one who had to scramble, calling contacts, trying to save face, and repairing the damage behind the scenes. The team noticed too. One by one, they started coming to me for guidance instead of her. They trusted my judgment, not hers. And though I was technically still in a lower position, everyone knew who was really running the show. But here's the sad part. I didn't get credit for saving projects. She did. Mr. Grant praised her in meetings, completely unaware that I was the one doing the heavy lifting. Every word of praise he gave her felt like a knife twist. Still, I held back. I knew the truth always has a way of coming out. And I wasn't about to throw away my integrity by exposing her too soon. Because when the collapse finally happened, and it would happen, I wanted there to be no doubt in anyone's mind who was responsible. Weeks passed, and the cracks were turning into full-blown fractures. The office that used to run like a well-oiled machine was now drowning in chaos. Reports were late, clients were restless, and the team's motivation was at rock bottom. Her leadership was non-existent. She barked orders, shifted blame, and disappeared when things went wrong. And every time someone questioned her, she'd hide behind her uncle's authority. "Mr. Grant trusts me," she'd say, as if that alone made her qualified. But Mr. Grant was starting to sweat. He couldn't ignore the angry phone calls, the canceled contracts, and the loss of revenue. At first, he doubled down, defending her, saying she just needed time. But time wasn't fixing anything. It was only making the damage worse. Meanwhile, I became the invisible glue holding everything together. I stayed late fixing her mistakes, rewriting her emails so they didn't sound unprofessional, and smoothing things over with angry clients. My team quietly thanked me, but I was careful. I never bragged, never pointed fingers. I just did my job. And then one day, the turning point came. We were preparing for a massive presentation with a potential client that could bring in millions. She insisted on leading it. She brushed off everyone's concerns, saying, "I've got this." But when the big day arrived, she froze. Slides, out of order, key numbers missing, awkward silences. It was a disaster. Halfway through, the client leaned back, crossed his arms, and said, "Is this a joke?" Then he walked out. That was it. The breaking point. The company had just lost the biggest opportunity of the year, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. After that disaster, the office buzzed like a hive. People whispered in hallways, sending each other knowing looks. The secret was out. She was in over her head, and Mr. Grant had made a huge mistake. Clients weren't just complaining, they were leaving. Projects stalled because nobody trusted her leadership. The staff started updating their resumes, and slowly the attention shifted toward me. Colleagues asked, "Why aren't you the one running things?" I had no answer, because we all knew the real reason. Behind closed doors, people were angry. They'd seen me earn that promotion, and now they were paying the price for someone else's nepotism. The morale dipped so low that even office lunches felt tense. The laughter was gone, replaced with silence and silence. But here's the thing about truth. It spreads. Word reached higher-ups in the company. Regional directors started questioning results. They wanted answers, and the numbers didn't lie. Performance had dropped since she took over. Clients were fleeing, revenue was down, and the department was sinking. I stayed quiet, but consistent. I showed up, worked hard, and let my results speak for themselves. Slowly, people started to see the pattern. She caused chaos. I fixed it. She lost clients. I salvaged them. She brought the company down. I held it up. And eventually, those whispers turned into something stronger. Pressure. Pressure that Mr. Grant could no longer ignore. It all came to a head in one explosive meeting. The board had called Mr. Grant in to explain why our numbers were sinking. The niece sat beside him, flipping nervously through papers, clearly unprepared. As questions fired from the directors, why is revenue down? Why did we lose these accounts? Who approved these mistakes? She had no answers. She stumbled, stuttered, and finally tried to pass the blame onto the team. But that's when something amazing happened. The team spoke up. One by one, people started telling the truth. They explained how I had been the one keeping things together, how I had saved projects, how I had been acting like the real manager all along. At first, Mr. Grant looked shocked. Then his face turned red. He realized in real time that his little act of favoritism had not only cost the company millions, but had destroyed his credibility in front of the board. The directors were not amused. They didn't care about family ties. They cared about results. And results showed one thing. His niece wasn't capable, and I was the one they should have promoted from the start. That was the moment everything shifted.